Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we bring you the top 50 stories from around the world. I'm Alison Lagrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. In our top stories, Russia and the West swapped prisoners yesterday, marking the biggest exchange since the Cold War. The Russian authorities released 16 prisoners from the West, including Russians, while Western nations freed 10 Russian prisoners, including 2 minors. U.S. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris welcomed the freed prisoners at Maryland's Joint Base Andrews. Biden hailed the deal as a feat of diplomacy and friendship. He also praised the U.S. allies for their bold and brave decisions. President Vladimir Putin gave a red carpet welcome to the released Russian prisoners in Moscow. Putin congratulated all of them and announced that they will be nominated for state awards. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz also spoke to the freed prisoners. Germany released Russia's Vadim Krasikov. He is a Kremlin hitman who was serving a life sentence for murdering a Georgian citizen in a Berlin park. Scholz said that Krasikov was released to save the lives of innocent people and political prisoners in Russia. A New York appeals court upheld its gag order against Donald Trump in his historic hush money criminal case. The gag order doesn't allow Trump to speak publicly about his trial. The Republican candidate sought to lift the restrictions. The U.S. has recognized Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's opposition candidate, Edmundo Gonzalez, as the winner of the disputed July 28 presidential election. The U.S. has rejected Maduro's victory claim. The U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, said that the evidence shows Gonzalez won the most votes. The Venezuelan Electoral Council declared Maduro a winner with 51% of the vote. However, the opposition claims that it got about 90% of the votes. Iran and its regional allies have vowed to retaliate against Israel after the killings of Hamas and Hezbollah leaders. Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh was killed in Tehran, while the military commander Fuad Shukr was killed during a strike on Beirut. Speaking at the funeral of the slain commander, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah said that Israel had crossed red lines. He said, and I quote, "This is an open battle on all fronts and it has entered a new phase." The body of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh has arrived in Doha for burial. Hamas members, including former leader Khaled Mashal, received the coffin at Doha International Airport. Haniyeh was killed in Tehran on the 31st of July. His killing has heightened fears of an escalating West Asia conflict. Turkey has blocked access to social media networking site Instagram. While making the announcement, the country's National Communications Authority did not give any reason for the restriction imposed. This comes 2 days after the Turkish presidency's communications director criticized Instagram and accused the platform of impeding people from publishing messages of condolence for deceased Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh. After students, now teachers in Bangladesh have hit the streets demanding an end to the violence that started with an anti-quota system in government jobs. The protest, led by students, turned violent and killed over 150. The teachers have called for a politics-free university campus and has justice for the quote-unquote July massacre. And protests in Nigeria against the high cost of living has killed 13 people. Nigerian security forces fired shots in the air and used tear gas to disperse the protesters. Nigerian police are now on red alert after the deadly protests. Nigeria is struggling with soaring inflation. The food inflation in the country is at 40%, while fuel is triple the price from a year ago. A school in India's national capital, Delhi, received a bomb threat today via an email. After investigation, the police found no evidence. The threat was confirmed as a hoax and legal action was initiated. On to climate news now. The situation remains grim in the Himalayan states of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. At least 14 people have died in Uttarakhand's Rudraprayag district due to a cloudburst. 16 others are reported critically injured. Operations are underway to rescue the remaining stranded survivors. Meanwhile, in Himachal Pradesh, at least 5 people have died and around 50 people are still missing. In the Indian state of Kerala, the death toll due to landslides in Wayanad district has crossed 300. Search operations are underway at multiple locations to find the missing people. The Kerala Chief Minister held a high-level meeting and said rescue was the main priority. At least 3 people have been killed due to record rain in Pakistan's Lahore city. The heavy downpour has triggered flooding in various neighborhoods, and according to the authorities, the downpour is expected to continue until the 6th of August. Several villages and farmlands have been inundated in Heilongjiang province in northeast China amid incessant rains. The local authorities have also issued rainstorm warning. Chinese Premier Li Qiang has urged for all-out efforts in flood control and rescue work. Amid the first week of Olympic Games, a thunderstorm swept through the city of Paris. Heavy rain, thunder and lightning have hit the city. Reports before this, the city was sweltering under an extreme heat wave. And for the first time since 1950, Santiago, the capital of Chile, didn't receive any rain in the month of July. Usually the region witnesses at least 5 centimeters of rain during this period. As per experts, this pattern of less to no rain will be more frequent due to climatic changes. And the firefighters continue to battle the wildfires in North Macedonia for the 4th day. Helicopters and planes were deployed to contain the raging fire. Meanwhile, the locals tried to control the flames using shovels and firefighting kits. The World Health Organization says extreme heat kills over 175,000 people in Europe every year. They claim that the temperature rises quickly there in comparison to the rest of the world. On an average, the European region accounts for 176,000 deaths annually. Now on to business and tech news. The American chip maker Intel has announced plans to lay off about 15,000 employees to cut costs. The move will reduce the firm's workforce by 15%. Intel says a majority of these layoffs will be completed by the end of this year. The company plans to reduce its spending by $10 billion by next year. Meanwhile, Intel has also reported its earnings for the second quarter. The chipmaker saw its revenue decline by 1% between April and June of this year. Intel's CEO attributed this loss to their new artificial intelligence personal computers. He noted that the firm's decision to rapidly produce chips that can handle AI computing contributed to the revenue losses. He also said that Intel is struggling to capitalize on the AI boom like other companies. And Apple reported a 5% rise in its quarterly revenue. The firm earned over $86 billion in the April to June quarter this year. Sales of Apple's Mac and iPad surged during the last 3 months. However, iPhone sales declined during the quarter, largely to lower demand in China. Meanwhile, Amazon doubled its profit in the last quarter. The e-commerce giant made over $13.5 billion in net income between April and June this year. This surge was largely attributed to growth in the firm's cloud unit, Amazon Web Services. Amazon's earnings from its online ad business also jumped by 20%. And social media firm Snap has reported $1.2 billion in revenue for the second quarter. While revenue rose by 16%, it fell short of the analysts' expectations. This led to the firm's shares decline by 18% yesterday. Now, during the second quarter, Snap saw its daily active users rise to over 430 million. A U.S. court has temporarily blocked the Biden administration's plan to reinstate net neutrality rules. The rules bar internet service providers from blocking or slowing down traffic on certain websites. They were first introduced in 2015, but President Donald Trump rolled them back. The rules were reinstated in April last year by the U.S. Federal Communications Commission. However, the court said that imposing such major rules would require congressional authorization. And the U.S. Justice Department has launched an investigation against American chipmaker NVIDIA. It wants to examine if NVIDIA pressured cloud service providers to buy its products. The probe was launched after complaints from the chipmaker's competitors. A lawsuit has been filed against Tesla over a 2022 crash involving its Model 3 cars in the U.S. The motorcyclist was killed after being hit by the Tesla car in the state of Utah. The parents of the motorcyclist have sued the electric vehicle maker, claiming that the car was in autopilot mode. They claim that Tesla's driver assistance software is defective and inadequate. And reports say India's central bank, the Reserve Bank of India, has approved a restructuring plan for Tata Sons. The deal allows the group to avoid listing on the stock market. The group owns 29 publicly listed companies in India, spanning from information technology to the auto sector. The RBI has classified Tata Sons as a systematically important entity. Now, it's mandated the firm to list its shares on the stock market by the year 2025. The Bank of England has reduced its interest rate for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic. The British Central Bank has cut the interest rate by a quarter point to 5.0%. The bank said that inflation has eased enough. However, it will be careful not to cut rates too quickly. The interest rate cut is expected to ease borrowing costs for people. And moving to sports, here are updates from the Paris Olympics. Simone Biles won her 6th Olympic gold medal at the Paris Games, reaffirming her position as the top all-around gymnast. In a close competition with Brazil's Rebecca Andrade, Biles initially fell to third place due to mistakes on the uneven bars. However, she regained the lead with a strong performance on the balance beam. And America's Katie Ledecky became the most decorated female Olympic swimmer ever, earning her 13th medal. Despite her achievement, Ledecky settled for silver in the 4x200 meters freestyle as Australia won gold. China secured the bronze medal, while Canada finished fourth. Ledecky's Olympic tally now includes 8 golds, 4 silvers and 1 bronze. Over in badminton, the Indian ace shuttler PV Sindhu has crashed out of the Olympics. She lost to China's He Bingjiao 19-21, 14-21 in 56 minutes. Had Sindhu won, this would have been her 3rd historic Olympic medal. India's sole hope for an Olympic badminton medal is Lakshya Sen. And Lakshya Sen has reached the quarterfinals of the badminton's men's singles. He defeated his compatriot HS Pranoy in the round. Sen won the match 21-12, 21-6 in 39 minutes. He will next face Chinese Taipei's Chao Tian-chen in the quarterfinals. And over in tennis, men's world number 1 Novak Djokovic stormed into the semi-finals in the singles category. He was playing against Stefanos Tsitsipas of Greece. Djokovic survived a brief medical scare during the match, but managed to win the 6-3, 7-6 against his Greek counterpart. Italian boxer Angela Carini withdrew from her welterweight round of 16 bout against Algeria's Imane Khelif after 46 seconds at the Paris Olympics. The withdrawal sparked controversy, partly due to Khelif's past issue with a gender eligibility test at the 2023 World Championships. Carini briefly consulted her coach before deciding not to continue the fight. After the match, Carini claimed that Khelif's punches were the hardest she had ever encountered. And Valentin Sinkovic celebrated his 36th birthday by winning gold in the men's pair rowing with his brother Martin at the Paris Olympics. The Croatian brothers overtook the British crew of Oliver Wynne-Griffith and Tom George, who led most of the race. And they finished with a time of 6 minutes 23.66 seconds ahead of the British teams. Now their victory was marked by a dramatic late surge to secure the gold. And Sierra Leone of Switzerland won gold in the women's rifle 3 positions at Paris 2024. Madalena Sagin of the USA earned silver and their first medal in this event since 2012. Zhang Qiangae of China took bronze, marking their first medal in this event since 2016. And Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni attended Alice Belandi's gold medal judo match at the Paris Olympics. Belandi won against Israel's Imbar Lanier in the under 78 kilogram category. Meloni arrived just before the match and was seen in an Italia t-shirt. She enthusiastically applauded Belandi's victory, celebrating the win. And Brian Pintado of Ecuador won gold in the men's 20-kilometer race walk at the Paris Olympics. Pintado finished with a time of 1 hour and 18 minutes 55 seconds, pulling ahead of just in the final kilometer. Chao Bonfim of Brazil secured silver with a time of 1 hours 19 minutes and 9 seconds, while Spain's Alvaro Martin, the 2023 world champion, took bronze. And in entertainment news, Universal Pictures has just acquired the movie rights to Britney Spears' memoir, The Woman in Me. The memoir dives into her journey as a pop star, including her battle with conservatorship. According to reports, the studio has tapped Crazy Rich Asians director John M. Chu for the film. And Taylor Swift warned fans about an expected loud siren noise during her concert in Poland. Swift's concert in Warsaw coincided with a key World War II anniversary. Every year, the city rings sirens to mark the day on the 1st of August. During Swift's concert, when the sirens went off, many of the fans stood up in tribute. A$AP Rocky and Rihanna's second son, Riot Rose, turned 1 yesterday. The American rapper shared pictures with his son on social media on his birthday, while the duo's first son, Reza Athelston Meyers, is 2. Hollywood actor Tom Cruise will reportedly make an appearance at the closing ceremony of the Paris Olympics. The Mission Impossible star is expected to perform a stunt at the event. The closing ceremony on the 11th of August will see Paris hand over the Olympic flag to the 2028 Games host, Los Angeles. And Israeli Netflix series Vowed's co-creator Leo Raz says the show faced several challenges before going on air. Raz says that the show was initially rejected by numerous TV networks. Vowed portrays the tension between Israel and Palestine. It is based on co-creator Avi Issa Sharoff and Leo Raz's experiences working in a counter-terrorism unit. Roadhouse director Doug Liman has slammed Amazon for releasing the film directly online. Liman said that 50 million people watched the movie, but he didn't get a cent from it. He alleged that the studio had originally agreed to release Roadhouse in theaters. And the U.S. Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has re-elected its president. The veteran film producer Janet Yang will serve the top job for a third time. Yang is known for her films like The Joy Luck Club and The People vs. Larry Flint. A new documentary series features K-pop stars Jessie, Black Swan and Gravity. Now, the documentary is all set to release on the 30th of August, and it will show the backstage and behind-the-scenes incidents of a K-pop idol's life. And Netflix has announced the Season 2 of Korean drama series Squid Game. The show will premiere on the 26th of December. The platform has also confirmed that its third and final season will be out in 2025. The list of the jury for the 37th Tokyo International Film Festival has been released. The jury for the main competition of the event includes Hong Kong filmmaker Johnny To, Hungarian filmmaker Ildiko Enyedi, and Japanese actress Ai Hashimoto, among others. They will join the jury president and Hong Kong's legendary filmmaker Tony Leung. The 2024 Tokyo Film Festival will start on the 28th of October. And that's all we have in this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost. Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. The first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Aaron Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C.